I couldn't ask for someone who had, his daughter told me he's a very relaxed guy, and I couldn't ask for someone who has more energy and more enthusiasm about anything. It doesn't matter what the subject is, really. Dive in with both feet, just keep going and going and going. So it's a very, very enjoyable experience. I'm sure many of you have had a similar experience with Reddy. I'd like to thank everyone for coming. I know it means a lot to Reddy to have his friends and his co-workers here. And again, thank you all for coming out on a cool evening tonight. What I want to do first is kind of run through a little Reddy life history. Brief life history. And also, Reddy asked me if we were going to have a roast tonight, and I said, well, not too much. But if you want to chime in with anything along the way, let me know. But before Reddy came to Mobil, he had quite a long path before he got to Mobil. He received a degree in chemical engineering in India, I assume, in 1969, and then came to the United States, I assume, somewhere close to time right after that, 1970 maybe?
January 28th to 1970,
yeah.
Which would have been yesterday, right?
yeah, today.
He came here and received a master's degree in chemical engineering from the University of South Dakota, and also received a master's degree in environmental engineering from the Illinois Institute of Technology in 1974. And according to the information I have here, he went 1977 as a project engineer, then also worked for Aquatechnics Engineering.
That's the same company. Yeah.
Was that right?
Yeah.
Okay. That was involved with filters.
Right.
Right. Okay, then his crowning moment in November of '77, he started with Mobil as an advanced environmental engineer. Looks like he stayed in the environmental department until about 1981 and went to the process department. For there, he became a planning engineer, then back to process. And I see the title that I don't recognize, a process computer engineer.
Advanced control.
Advanced control, followed by senior control engineer. And then in February of 1994, he came to the construction group where he got to take all of that experience and knowledge he gained for the first 16 or 17 years and bring it all together and put it up to good use in all the projects he worked on. So that's kind of his Mobil history and where he got. Before I start, I have a number of things to give you tonight, Reddy. But I know one thing you've always told me is that no matter what happens, you're always ready. And I've always been ready. Even when you're asleep, you're ready.
That's a good one.
I do have one short story about Reddy. This is a slight roast story for Reddy. But for those of you that work at the refinery, you know we're very big into safety and all kinds of safe work practices. In fact, in the construction group where I work with Reddy, we have safety meetings once a week. And it was about this time, probably about 2 years ago. And it was kind of cold weather and we were starting to get some snow. And the subject we had at our safety meeting that day was safe winter driving. And I know Reddy was there. And everyone watched the show and we talked about a little bit how you have to be careful and keep your wipers working and really know the conditions. And we had a good conversation for about 15 or 20 minutes. And the very next day, Reddy comes into work. He's a little late that morning. And I happened to look out in the parking lot. I think he tried to park in a far-off spot that next morning, but I think he slipped on the ice in his car that morning coming into work. And did a little bit of damage to the back of his car, so we gotta update that tape, Reddy. Let's see. Okay. Also, after Reddy officially retired and turned off his light for the last time at the office, I got a call from him. I think it was the next day or the day after. When people retire, sometimes they'll forget things in their office, like calculators or personal cameras or things like that. Well, the one thing that Reddy called up for, this is a unique one that I've never seen, but he really wanted his nameplate that went to his door.
I was wondering where it had come.
We saved it.
Thank you, Dave. Oh, you did good.
But he kept the camera
This is
though,
a
right?
nice one too, the good looking one.
Yeah. Still have a camera though.
The flying fox, you know about that.
Okay, we have another thing to give, and Dave McCune is going to handle the next piece.
All right, Dave.
Dave McCune is the facility execution superintendent.
Yeah, I've got a great title. I'm superintendent, facility superintendent, field execution, so what a great title. But Reddy and I worked together twice, actually, about in the mid-'80s in economics and planning. And then he and I kind of both went different ways with Mobil and then at the Joliet refinery, and then came back together in the construction group. And as Dave said, he took all the skills that he had. That was really kind of the first time that I'm aware that you had a mechanical engineering type job to do. So Reddy and I talked a lot. You know, and so he did real good.
He had skills.
Huh? No, he did real good. He had a lot of background in the process arena, and I think that really helped in his understanding of why something was being built, and then had seen a lot of work in that regard. But Reddy, I'm sure you can guess what this is going to be. But this is kind of the standard retirement picture for people. It's a picture of the refinery at nighttime across the pond that's out in front, which all the employees talk about is shaped like the insignia for Shell, and we never have figured out why that is. But it says to R.R. Sama, best wishes from your friends at the Joliet Refinery, 1977 to 1995. So, ready? You gonna slip up here? Congratulations.
Did you take that picture already?
Did I take Jim? No, he didn't take it. Already, I have lots of need. He didn't.
I have a few more things over here. Something that happens when you retire with Mobil is you get to choose out of a catalog many very nice items, and I have the choices that Reddy made here. Let me see. The very first one. I'll let you can go ahead and open it, Reddy, and I can describe it. No, this is the
Oh,
other
this
one.
is the
Yeah, this is the 14 karat gold Pegasus tie clip with a diamond inside in it.
Wow.
Very, very nice. That's
I think that's the one he wanted for his type.
the other one.
This is nice.
This is
This is a ring.
a man's Pegasus ring. Diamond inside. Very, very nice. That's nice.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you. Those are fine choices. Those are really nice. Thank you. At this point, before I hand out any more, I'd invite anyone else to stand up and tell any kind of stories or interesting things that you think you might want to share with the group about Reddy. I can see Jim.
I don't have much. What'd you do with the book, Randy?
I'll give it to you. Yeah.
Let me tell you the experience that I had. I think I met most of you. I'm Jim Bruno. Back in the time that I met Reddy was 1991. I was a turnaround planning superintendent. At that time, we were really into taking photographs and videotapes of everything that happened during a turnaround. Turnarounds where you shut all the units down, you rebuild them. There's a lot of repairs going on. Reddy was chosen to be the photographer for that particular era of time. And it was something that, you know, he had a lot of background in process, he had a lot of background in computers. When he attached himself to a camera and a video camera, though, he went wild. I'm sure you know Reddy, and I'm sure you're all familiar with his style. You get him behind a camera, and this man is a different person. As a result, there was about 650 of these produced. Yes, 650. We sat down with the refinery manager and produced this little item. And if none of you have had has everybody here seen this already?
Yeah.
Do I need to read the whole entire thing?
No, I want to read
Yeah,
one.
please, please,
Please what?
read. I'm just kidding, Jim.
I just want to know what indigo was.
Susan,
I mean, this man has got a different perception of a rainbow than I ever could.
I think you told us about it.
Yeah, did he? Yeah. So you all know the story. That little gift that I brought?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
now
So
it's
not
good.
to open it.
I know that, I like it. Now's a good time to open it, ready? Because as the story goes, it says that he's a little bit of a novice at cameras, but he really enjoys it. Don't open the card. The card's kind of a personal thing, ready? But, yeah, that's the closest I could get to, the choices were wedding wrapping or that. That's all the Bruno's had anymore.
Bobby is coming from wedding, you get the wedding wrapping, and something is telling me.
Which wedding? You went to a wedding, huh?
Yeah, best man.
He is the best man. See? He really is. He no longer works for the guy, but he's still the best man. So if you open that up, not only will he have these pictures to remember, but he's also going to take a lot of pictures of the family. And no, that was not Mobil X.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, those,
Thank you, Jim.
I expect you to use those videotapes wisely.
These are bunch
I
of
think-
tapes,
Now-
videotapes, and
I understand that you are a grandfather.
Yes, yes.
So you know
Proud
it?
grandfather.
Pardon me?
Proud grandfather.
Proud.
That's what is vegetarian now.
He called me yesterday, a couple days ago. And he says, "Hey Jim," he said, "you a vegetarian?" I don't know. I said, "Can you spell that?" He said, V-E-G. I said, "Oh, vegetarian, yeah." It's okay.
I want to do something in that though.
But I want to tell you that I think the main reason that I'm here tonight is a result of this particular document. We had so much fun. I will never forget Reddy for what he did for the company and for me. Again, I appreciate it.
Thank you, Jim.
Thank you.
You're
What are you gonna do?
You're being very humble. Let me read what comes on this.
Yeah.
Good.
But humble?
Yeah.
No, it's not. Oh, that's what I did. That's why I didn't want to read it, Reddy. I didn't know you could retire at 42. Can you retire at 42?
Yeah. Okay. Based on the above responses, I heard from turnaround participants, also keeping in mind the purpose of the turnaround camera person. I wondered if we could in any way show these turnaround photo highlights effectively to everyone on a weekly basis. During the first week of November, I proposed an idea where we could display these photo highlights on the turnaround color pictures on a weekly basis in the turnaround trailers. And Jim Bruno, my supervisor, liked the idea and agreed to try it on an experiment. If he said no, then it would have not happened.
That's my book. Yeah, because it's got your signature in both Indian and English. Now I know how to spell your name in Indian.
Thank you, Jim.
It'll go along with my Greek collection of things I have. Thank you. Thanks, Reddy.
Thank you, Jim.
Does anyone else have
No, I didn't get to see the ring. What size is it?
anything they'd like to add?
Just a quick note,
Yeah.
I'm Bob Jurish, co-worker with Reddy in the New like to thank you very, very much for developing into what it is, and let you know how much we enjoy working with him, as his technical abilities, and from just a wonderful gentleman that he is. Reddy, it's a pleasure working with you. Look forward to many more years.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay, well, I'll turn this over to Bobby.
I have something to say.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, it's not only Mobil and the new company, but also the friends who would like to say something.
Yes.
First thing is, I am really appreciative of what Mobil has done today. And I have been in the workforce for a while, but I haven't seen many companies throwing a retirement party to an individual on such a scale. I'm really impressed. Mobil, do you have any jobs?
Well, man, but you have to fight like elegant.
That's one thing. And when we were, my wife and I, we were talking today, it was kind of difficult to visualize Rami Reddy, as you call Reddy, we call him Rami Reddy, to be retiring today or so soon, because he's 6 months younger than me. Okay, and well, of course he is not retiring. We all know that he's retiring in one sense, but he is full of energy. And even though he's 6 months younger than me, he has 6 times more enthusiasm and energy in him. And I believe I have 12 more years to go before I can retire from there. And he has 6 times more of the vitality and energy and stuff like that. And I am really happy to see him so happy today. I mean, you can see the happiness in him. And I really am appreciative of everything that you have done.
Thank you.
I got something to say before you. It's been a, my name is Nagendra Nath Nemani, or for our American friend, it's Nate Nemani. It's been a pleasure knowing Ram Reddy and his family for the last 20 or 25 years. We just also happen to have sons who are equal age too, so we've enjoyed the relationships doubly, you might say. Long time ago, back in the late 70s, I was working for Mobil Chemical, what was then Mobil Chemical, across the other side of the expressway, and I-55, and we both lived in Glendale Heights at that time, and we had an interesting experience commuting from Glendale Heights to Joliet, which was a nice experience in the mornings in the summer times when it was relatively cool, but in the afternoons it became a little bit of a challenge, especially when Reddy was driving. As a lot of you would know, he gets to be
He gets lost.
in the third world, in the elevated world at times, and the hot weather in the afternoons didn't help things much. In those days, if you remember, air conditioning in the cars was not really that common. And the way I could keep him awake in those carpooling days was try to put a rock station, maybe, WLS AM, and driving through 59 and going through all those cornfields, going south through Shorewood, where drive on and on and on. It took a while before we reach Joliet, so it was quite an experience. And then at times I had to start pinching him to wake him up. So finally, but we had some interesting discussions also in that time. But that's something that comes to mind, and it was an interesting experience. And in the words of one of his previous bosses, I'd like to end this by saying Charles Clody, some of you may know, Charlie Clody. When I was with Mobil, Charlie Clody.
Yeah, we remember.
When I was with Mobil, we went to a combined Mobil corporate conference. This was, I think it was St. Padre Island or Houston, one of the two. And his words were, oh, you know Reddy Sama? So he's a gem. And I said, I agree 100% with you. So that's how I'd like to end it with you. Been a pleasure.
Yeah, I'd like to say something. Well, first I'd like to again reiterate that I think Mobil did a wonderful job with the retirement party. As I was growing up, I used to love the picnics. Oh God, they were my favorite. They had like roller coasters and all that. They went all out. The Christmas parties and everything. But what I really want to thank you for is the summer program that you had for college students. It forced me and my dad to sit in the car all the way to Mobil and all the way back. With hours and hours of philosophy. I should have an honorary degree in that. Talk about everything. But it was just a very nice program. I got to see the wonderful environment that he was working in. And I got to see that he was a very lucky man to have a job like that. And I think Mobil was lucky to have him also. And I just say thank you, Dad, and congratulations.
Looks like you're up, Bob.
I'll pick right up where you left off and say, we too agree with you 100% that we were very lucky to be able to work with Red. You know, I count Reddy not only as a co-worker, but really as a friend. And I tell you, anytime you've been through turnaround wars, you know, you develop some friendships that really last a lifetime, because the working conditions during that time, you know, are pretty tough and stressful, and you really get to know, you know, what people are really made of. And Reddy and I work really close together, you know, really on a couple of turnarounds. But the one that Jim mentioned, the 91 turnaround, when Reddy was taking the pictures, you know, part of my job was running being in charge of the night shift. And it was a tough job. But Reddy provided me an opportunity to kind of get away from some of the pressure that had to do, you know, with execution and, you know, seeing the contractors do their jobs and working with Mobil people and getting the hardware done. What Reddy brought was a diversion, because he cracked the whip on me about having articles together and let's get the book together and the pictures together. So after I put in my 12 hours or 13 hours on nights to do the turnaround work, then Reddy and I would spend about an hour, 30 minutes to an hour, you know, talking about the pictures and stuff. And really, that gave me a chance to really wind down, relax. Of course, you know, when you start doing it on a regular basis, you talk about more than just the pictures and the work. You know, you get a chance to talk about, you know, your family. And he was very proud, you know, of his children and his wife, and he tell me about India. So really, it was a cultural education. I get a chance to talk about mine. So by the time I got done, I could really go home and really take advantage of those 3 or 4, sometimes 5 hours sleep that I would be able to get. That was a real pleasure. And then when we were, we reorganized again and had created project development, and we had a chance to really diversify. And most of the people that were in the construction group were mechanical engineers. And I said, hey, so Reddy wants to come work in that group. Yeah, he's a chemical engineer. I said, don't hold that against him. Say, you know, Reddy could bring a lot to the job. And then I thought about, because normally that's something I probably wouldn't have done. But then I thought about how versatile and the thing that really brought to the table, you know, when he was putting his book together, that really, you could see that spark and that drive and that enthusiasm. And I thought to myself, I said, you know, that's really what we need to help make a group go. You know, Dave came and talked to me. It was Dave's idea. And I said, you know, that could work. And it really did work out well. Reddy brought a freshness, a different perspective on how to do things. And I can tell you, this guy's a perfectionist. He brought a lot of ideas. He challenged the mechanical engineers on things that they had traditionally done, that maybe were not really the best things to do. And not only the ones that work with him in the construction group, he challenged the engineers that were putting out the design, because when they put them out, he had to build them. So he made sure, really came up with a lot of continuous improvement ideas and facilitated meetings and brought them together where they worked out, how do you do the design such that when they get to the field, they can go really smoothly, how we can work better with the contractors. So a lot of the things that we're doing today and doing them better was because Reddy initiated and, really had the idea. So, I'd really like you guys to give Reddy a hand for that, because you don't find that every day, someone who really takes something and go out and is always trying to improve it. So I'm going to give Reddy a hand for that. At this time, I'd like to take the opportunity to read the retirement statement from my chairman, Lou Noto. It says, in appreciation of loyal and meritorious service rendered by Rami Reddy Sama to Mobil Corporation and its affiliate predecessors and operating companies during 18 years of service, the officers and directors of Mobil Corporation award this special service emblem and extend their best wishes for a happy retirement. By the order of the Board of Directors, Lucius Noto, Chairman. And again, I'd like to add our congratulations for the whole refinery and regional leadership team, and my personal congratulations. And I only have one other thing to add. I don't know why you all didn't find what the dress was supposed to be.
Do you want to say a few words, Reddy?
Bobby was talking, almost tears came in my eyes. It's a touching feeling when, especially up above, from the president of Mobil Corporation and board of directors, something like that to a frontline contributor. It tells about Mobil and its philosophy. I mean, it's just. See, I'm very emotional. Normally, I'm very emotional. My family always says that even by watching TV, I cry. And I laugh too. I laugh too loud. And even when I go to the theater, I said, "Daddy, slow down." So no, it's very few companies in USA has this kind of philosophy towards the employees. I can tell you on that is just the environment and the people and the company. I miss it, and my family misses it, because the way they do things is just. I mean, that's why they are front runners in the whole industry. They have their vision, their mission and values are all aligned, and they're getting better and better with time. And that's one of the reasons, why Mobil is one of the top safety performers. So I want to thank Dave Hill and Bobby Creighton for taking time to arrange this wonderful, wonderful evening on behalf of me and my family and my friends. And I will remember this the rest of my life. Especially Bobby coming from wedding just for this meeting, that means a lot to me. And Bobby, somehow we click. We worked several projects, and some of the things he does, the way he does it is that one of the strengths of Bobby, the way I see it, is this communication, and he just walk down the aisle and talk to people and just make them feel important, and that's the skill he has it. And Mobil is very lucky to have managers like that, and keeping people informed. And I still remember when I accepted the package and I was about to leave, and Bobby was walking down, and he just stopped by in my office and said, "Hey, Reddy, I got the employment agent, take this number, give me a call, maybe he can help you." And that's the guy gave me 3 interviews. The Bobby the employment agent, he referred me, he was just like my style, he's just enthusiastic, he's almost like, he got a lottery or something, whenever he talked to me, that kind of boosted me my morale up while, looking for a job. And I thank you for that, Bobby. That was nice of you to care for, people, who work for you. And Dave Hill, when I worked for him, he's from marketing. I mean, nothing against all that. No, I mean, I see Dave, the approach to the supervision is that he's fresh. I mean, he approaches the just like Jim. If he comes up with an idea, he will openly, honestly looks at the idea and ready to implement it. That's the freshness of the marketing. He brought it to the construction group, and I'll tell you, I enjoyed working, even though I didn't have much background. Like, I'm a chemical engineer. What am I doing in the construction group? But I think some of the basic things you learn in engineering can apply in any field, really. It's not something you can pick up the background. You can pick up the the weak points of the operation, and you can always make improvements, and you can catch up. It's not a big deal. So with Dave, I think my PC skills were very helpful in the construction group. I set up quite a bit program so that whole process will run smoothly. So it was an enjoyable experience working with Dave. And Kathy Boyd, she's not here. She's the one I want to thank her. She is the make all the preparations, early plans for this party, and I thank her very much. She's the Mobil secretary for Bobby. And next, I want to thank my family, my wife Kala, and see, I was alone, first person to come to United States from my family from India, and then she came 2 years later, and we struggled together. All kinds of hard knocks, soft knocks, all kinds of things, during this past 25 years. And I give a lot of credit to my wife, being a good, supporter and a partner. And without her, I couldn't have been, where I am. And I really appreciate and thank my wife, a good life partner. Then my children, my daughter and son, they are the inspiration for I actually give the credit for my energy and enthusiasm. Probably they are the inspiration, and just makes me go, and just for them, it's worthwhile. And I have a very, very wonderful daughter and a wonderful son, and they are doing extremely well in whatever they are, choosing to do, and they are happy. That's all, it counts. The way we see it as parents is that they are happy where they are, and they are, growing. So I'm very proud of both of them. And my son-in-law, Philip, back there, he's, I'll tell you, I haven't seen a hard worker anyone more than him. He works hard. I mean, unbelievable. He's just like me, he just works. There's no end to it. And he's devoted and committed. If anything he takes up, he's just perfect. So he's a very friendly, we get along very well. I admire and his ambition. And, thank you, Phil, for joining our family. I appreciate it. And then I have a few friends. We grew up like the 5 families, like Anand, Kanya, Kishan, Radha, Srikantam, and Rama, and Amsaya, and her son Ajay. These 5 families are like my friends. Are like, see, I said families, which is not a wrong. Lata and Namani. These 6 families are families. I mean, those are not not only just friends; they are family, because we grew together for the past 15 to 20 years, starting from Glendale Heights, and we still maintain that friendship to date. And our children grew up like Ajay. He was a small boy. And we watch him grow. And in a couple of years, he's going to be a doctor. And we are very proud, to this bond we have, the bond of friends which grown into a family. And thank you very much for coming. I appreciate all of you. And then all the supervisors like Dave McHugh and many people, Jim Bruno. You know, some of the people when you get in touch and work with them, they leave some impression on your personality actually. You know, they make you a different person because you learn from each person. Like, you know, Jim Bruno, you know, I learned, you know, innovative ideas, you know, go for it. You know, that's what, you know, kind of person he is. And when you work with him, you catch a little bit of that. Dave McEwen, you know, he builds the team spirit into it, you know, make it a very comfortable environment to work with. And, you know, Dave, you know, he is the same thing, you know, he's open, he encourages the ideas, new ideas, and willing to experiment it. You know, these are Bobby, you know, even though after working 12 hours, you know, we were working 12 hours a day, 7 days a week for a month and a half. Just imagine it. I mean, not a day break, straight 30, 45 days. You know, while working in that kind of schedule, you know, Bobby, when I go with you know, an idea, he makes time. You know, that is the kind of things you catch with people when you work. And that becomes part of you. And I don't see it, you know, but it's there. I can feel it. And that's the kind of things, you know, I felt in Mobil when I work is people are just, it's contagious. And you catch that spirit. And it's amazing. And some of the, now I'm associated with Mido Engineering. And, you know, Bob and, you know, Don, those are the people, you know, the leaders. And whenever I work with them, I catch something from them. You know, the leadership. You know, Bob, you know, involvement engineering, you know, helping people. You know, this is, you know, I started in this country, to tell a story, when exactly 26 years ago, I came to this country with $1,200 in my pocket. And went to school, got my MS degree, and then came to Chicago with $50 in my pocket. And we still, oh, there's another thing is on top of it, my daughter was born when I was here. She was pregnant when I left India, and because I was going through the student and schooling and low budget and can't afford, first time I saw her was she was 4 years old. And when I went to the airport to pick her up, you know, my wife asked me, who is that? He said, he's Rami Reddy, he said. So I said, then I took about almost a year to work on that, to change that from Rami Reddy to Daddy. So we became very, very good friends later, but I still miss that bonding in the first 3 years not being there with her. Sorry, Padma. Sorry, I didn't be there. But with your son, I'm always there. So no So I want to thank everybody for you know, coming, and I think I was nervous a little bit, you know, how it's going to turn out, but I think this is the best evening I ever had in a long, long time. Nitya and Nimsha, they are my, you know, good friends and neighbors too. So that's pretty nice. And Ed Essery, you know, he's somehow, you know, with him and me when we were in Mobil, it was like a teacher-student relationship somehow, and that's why I have a very high respect for him, because with anything I go, what I ask a question, he tells me what it is and he gives me the answer. He gives me some more answers. Every time I go to him, you know, I come up, wow. You know, that's why I started, you know, bugging him a lot more. So we became good friends. I'll tell you, he's very good with computers. And you know, whatever the work he does in computers, he not only just solves the problem, he's very artistic about it. That's the part I think I really admire in him. And keep up the good work, Ed. I think, you know, thank for Dave and Bob for signing the check for this. I think Dave risked his credit card and gave it to height, I guess. That's what happened.